who's been a part of the college football playoff throughout the weekend. Paul, good seeing you. Let's start with Alabama because they were one of the teams everyone was moaning about getting in the college football playoff, getting routed by Georgia in the SEC championship game, down 17-0 Oklahoma. Social media at that time was just blasting the committee in Alabama, and then it got real quiet when they came back to win. Easily the best performance in a Kalen DeBoer coached Alabama team.
Yeah, Matt, I'm not going to go back into all the Notre Dame writers and bloggers and pundits and influencers and fans who attacked all of us during that first quarter, Norman. It was a little hard to keep up with all the social media while being at the game. But, I mean, some of the stupidest tweets I've ever seen, which, may be a lesson not to tweet in the middle of something because that's sports. You and I've seen a lot of it, and it was pretty remarkable when you think about that turnaround, because I think Alabama literally was one play, maybe one catch, one good decision away from getting blown out of that stadium and the playoffs, but they never could quite. Oklahoma never could quite deliver. Mateer missed a mistake, and before you know it, it was a disaster.
Yeah, it was that fourth down play early on where Alabama had to go for it because they, as you said, they were getting run out of the stadium, and Ty Simpson hit the pass over the middle that ended up being a touchdown that kind of steadied the ship a little bit. And that was really when you thought, okay, you're down 17-0. Nothing's going right. You've got to be aggressive on fourth down to get back into the game. And then it was just clear, Paul, like from the moment that Alabama got back in the game, there were some special teams mishaps. I don't particularly think it was close which team was better. I just don't. If you look back at the first time these teams played, Alabama outgained them. They outplayed them. It was just the turnovers that led to Oklahoma's win. And again, Alabama made it obvious that they were, in fact, the better team and probably more of a playoff team than what Oklahoma had showed.
Yeah, no, it doesn't matter now, but Oklahoma did not really look like a playoff team. And they were fragile all year, Matt. I mean, that was my third trip to Norman this college football season. So I've had a pretty good taste of the Sooners, and they barely got by Auburn. It took two of the worst calls I've ever seen to get them past one of the worst teams in the SEC, and they ended up losing badly to Texas. They lost to Ole Miss, and it took a defensive play to beat Alabama. It took a defensive play to beat Tennessee. I mean, they very easily could have been a 4 or 5 loss team, which doesn't matter now. But all the attacks on Alabama were just absurd, and I think it just metastasized with the Kalen DeBoer to Michigan rumors. I mean, how many memes did you see? Send that plane to go get DeBoer in the first quarter, and DeBoer has made it difficult on himself, but he has been a master in critical moments this year, and he proved that again.
Yeah, let's get into that for a second, because I've been on the other end of the Michigan coaching fiasco with everyone all but certain Kenny Dillingham was going here. I mean, It was Kenny's going. I can't wait for Kenny to be. It's like he wasn't going. He was never going to leave. He was playing it to get what he needed at Arizona State. DeBoer was also the other guy, and it's like, well, okay, if you think that he's the guy, maybe he was. Maybe DeBoer was the guy if they lose to Oklahoma, but that's not going to happen now. Like, they're going to play Indiana in the Rose Bowl in the quarterfinals for spots to go to the semifinals. There's no chance Michigan's waiting. Here's the thing with these coaching searches, and we say it all the time. All of that DeBoer garbage, and again, maybe there was some stuff going on behind the scenes that were making it legitimate had they lost to Oklahoma. But in the middle of a playoff run, he's answering questions about another job.
Yeah, and I think unfortunately for him, he's not that articulate in that setting. I'm not saying he isn't articulate. He's a very smart guy, but he's when he got peppered with that Monday after issuing the statement, he should have been prepared, but he wasn't.
Right. Yeah, and look, end of the day, it's always you're in a can't-win situation when those questions are asked. The bottom line, unless Michigan plans on waiting to the end of the college football playoffs, I don't think they will. The Kalen DeBoer and we know the Kenny Dillingham, both of those coaches.
And Matt, final question: why would anybody want that job?
It's a great look. I've been saying it all week. Like, I get it. It's resourced. And when clicking, it's one of the best jobs in the country. But there's a lot going on behind the scenes right now, Paul. I mean, this still goes back to the Harbaugh era when they got for the stealing sign scandal. And then you've got this head coaching scandal. Who knows how Ward Manuel is still making this decision. But again, when it's clicking, Michigan with the resources is one of the top jobs in the country. But Paul, that's just not the case right now.
No, and that's the reality. And we all know what Michigan is. And if you don't know, Michigan fans will tell you. But there's simply no leadership there. There's no alignment. And the stench of the Harbaugh regime permeates the air in Ann Arbor, and it's made it more difficult because the go-to is, well, let's get Mentor, let's get let's get somebody. But what they needed a Kalen DeBoer or a Dillingham, but they're not going to get either one. So good for them.
What they need is Kyle Whittingham. They need Kyle Whittingham. They need Whittingham.
Probably right. You're right.
Who ran a good, clean program at Utah. Like, I get it. He's older and he's not the sexiest hire in terms of name recognition and youth, but you need a guy to steady that ship.
You want this, you got that. No way, watch him walk right